Good evening. I'm Harry Keeling, and on behalf of Alaska Public Media and the Alaskan Aviation Safety Foundation, welcome to Hangar Flying. If you were with us last time, you saw Doug McKinnis. Doug is currently an Alaska Airlines captain, and he was involved in a very serious hunting accident. And he started to describe how he got into the situation, and in fact, it ended with him falling, and I'm going to let him pick it up at that point and continue with the story. Doug?
Thank you, Harry. It's good to be back again. As I mentioned, I took one step after waving to Brian and fell uncontrollably, realizing this time it just felt like I wasn't going to stop. There was no stopping like I did the last fall. I thrust my hands over my head like this to protect myself if I should hit something with my head. Closed my eyes because I think I was a little scared about what might come. And I slid 30 to 40 feet down the grassy slope, and as I was sliding, I was accelerating. Brian is watching me slide, and helpless, he felt very unnerved and shaken to the core as well. I slid 30, 40 feet to the cliff's edge, then I flew off the edge. Brian watched me go off, and he waited patiently, nervously, but waited until all the sounds stopped. My body was impacting rocks, and also the rocks were being dislodged.
And how far did you fall?
350 to 400 feet, a long ways. And then the 162 feet marks the highest place of Niagara Falls, if that gives you any perspective. It's a phenomenal distance to fall and survive. I went off the cliff, and I thought, so this is how I'm going to die. How am I going to die? Will I break my neck? Will I break my back and suffer? Will I not know what happened? But I thought, this is how I'm going to die. After I went off the cliff, for 3 seconds, I was in a free fall. I remember dramatically the timing of it. And I smashed violently into a rock. Again, I didn't see it, but I impacted it and survived. And I thought, that wasn't bad, that wasn't bad, that wasn't bad. And then I went immediately into another free fall of about the same duration, and I hit that even more violently, and I responded, oh, that wasn't good, that wasn't good, that wasn't good. And I thought immediately, my ribs are broken and my lung is punctured. That's just the thought that came to my mind. I continued falling, but I don't have any recollection until I woke up, looked up, and I'm at the bottom of a 10-foot cliff that I had fallen off of, and came directly straight down on my bottom, head up, feet in a knee bent position, a perfect position to be in for internal bleeding, which I had. I had to take assessment of my condition and went from toe to head, seeing what injuries I might have. And I saw a rock to my right, and I was situated on a 2-foot by 2-foot ledge, and below me was 1,000 to 1,400 feet of very, very steep terrain that I would never have been able to control my descent down. So before we get into the injuries that you suffered, talk a little bit about what Brian did and how you guys got the miracle of how you got rescued. Okay, I sat there for about 30 minutes on that 2 by 2 foot ledge. Brian, in the meantime, couldn't descend safely down to get me because I had fallen down the cliff, and he knew it. So he had to side hill about 1/4 mile in the direction of our tent. Then he descended down. He almost fell multiple times as well, but not down a cliff, but it would have been dangerous. He descended to an area he thought would be sufficient low enough to where he could side hill toward my direction. And in doing that, he saw the debris field of all rocks and things that had gone down. He looked down and didn't see me, so he assumed that I would be uphill. He went up the snow trail of the debris and found my backpack that had ripped off my body in the second impact, or after. And he came up to me. I heard him calling me, and I answered him as best I could. It was hard for me to speak because of my lung injury. So Brian came up to me and said, he looked at my knee and fixed it up. It was a very serious leg injury. And he said, hey, I found your pack. He said, but unfortunately the the pack, the upper pack that detaches, is gone and the phone is missing. And that was our only means of communicating with the Coast Guard.
So right now you're on the side of a hill on a very small ledge. You've had a very, very serious fall, and I want you next time to talk about the extent of your injuries. Your friend Brian, risking his own life, came around to help you, and initially it looks like you don't have any means of contacting what would be required, and that is a Coast Guard pickup. I'm going to get you back I'm going to get you back at least one more time to continue with the story. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, you'll agree with me, you want to hear the end of this. And again, keep in mind that Doug is currently flying for Alaska Airlines as a captain, and his story is one of courage and pretty serious circumstances. But also, I'd have you keep in mind, this was not a walk in the park for them. They had crampons, they had walking sticks, they knew what they were doing, they'd done it before, and this is sometimes what happens in Alaska. So ladies and gentlemen, tune in next time. Doug, thanks again for being on the program.
Great to be
Thanks
here.
for coming back. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, fly safe.